It is World Mental Health Day, which is why I'm reviewing this 19-year-old Cask Strength whiskey from Jura that actually helped to raise thousands of funds in support of mental health services in Scotland. Hey guys, I'm Nath Martyn, the Whisky Scribe. I'm a whisky enthusiast and I love all things whisky. But taste is subjective and there's a lot of different whiskies out there. So whether you consider yourself a connoisseur or you're just looking to understand more about whiskey, let's explore it all together. If you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button. I put up regular whiskey review videos. You can also follow me over on Instagram. Now today is World Mental Health Day, and I wanted to use this video to just draw a little bit of attention on the importance of talking about mental health, something that affects all of us in some way or another. Back in September of 2020, Jura Distillery did an auction-only special bottling. It was a distillery cask 1708, a 19-year-old single malt, and 100% of the auction proceeds went to the SAMH, the Scottish Action for Mental Health. Now, all 470 bottles sold out, and together they raised an incredible £48,000 in support of mental health services in Scotland. So today, as we enjoy this dram, let's raise awareness and a glass for mental health. So this was another sample that was sent to me from Uncle Baldrick over in the UK. So thank you again, Uncle Baldrick. I've been wanting to try this one for a while, and I kept missing World Mental Health Day, which I thought was the best time to taste it. Whew. That does have some nice colour. Yeah, let's look at that. So this is from the Jura Distillery, which is from the Isle of Jura, which is an island off the coast of Scotland. So technically it's a Highland whiskey, but because it's an island, personally I think the island should be their own region. I've got a whole video where I talk about that, check that one out. But Islands region, Highlands region, whatever you want to call it. It is cask number 1708. It is a single malt unpeated whiskey aged in ex-sherry butt for 19 years, bottled at 55% cask strength. There are only 470 individually numbered bottles, and this is an official distillery bottling. So it's filled, labelled, hand-sealed, and numbered at Jura Distillery. So that's a really nice dark colour. Now it doesn't say no colour added, but if you're going to do a cask strength whiskey at 19 years, I kind of feel like you don't really need to, especially since the sherry casks, this is probably accurate. And yeah, there's some lovely thick legs going down that glass too. So straight away that's telling me that this is a wonderfully oily whiskey that has had some beautiful impression coming across from those sherry casks. Wow. It just occurs to me that I've only really ever had peated whiskey from the Jura Distillery, I think. But the nose on this thing is phenomenal. There is so much coming across. It's possible that I've never actually had a cask strength whiskey from Jura Distillery. There's a little bit of vanilla, but it's been overshadowed by like toffee and some oak spice. There's a real citrus note in there as well. Yeah, that citrus note to me is coming across kind of like this candied orange sort of flavor. There is so much going on the nose that I almost feel like I need to actually experience the palate to help unpack the nose. So slange. Such a flip. So on the nose I got a lot of like toffee sort of sweetness coming across, and like I said, that candied orange sort of note. The palate itself, there is sweetness there, but it's actually more earthy. So all of those things on the nose, they're coming across, but they're nowhere near as sweet as I was expecting them to be. It's actually coming across more like there's a lot of wood and leather coming through. You're getting a little bit of like this, the sweetness is almost coming across more like it's from the grain itself. There's a bit of honey. That leathery note, that really is, there's a beautiful leathery note in there. So that leather note is, it's beautiful. Like if you've ever smelt like a beautiful old leather couch, it's not musty old, but it's also not new leather. If you imagine that sort of aroma, but with some sweetness on there and like just some earthy texture going on. But if you've ever smelt leather and thought that it actually smells almost like it tastes good, this is the flavor that I would be expecting. And yeah, tasting the palate and then going back to the nose helps unpack that. The toffee is sort of like merged a little bit now into like a leather note. I suppose that leather is almost like a little bit of like a gentle sort of smoke. But this is an unpeated whiskey, so if there's a smoke note in there, I'm assuming that's just coming from the fact that it's aged in a barrel house with a whole bunch of peated whiskey. And the finish, it's like wood spices, it's long, it's warm, it really lingers in there. That sweetness hangs around in the back of the palate as well. I'm trying to remember what the ABV was on this one. Was it 55%? That's beautiful. 19 years in the making in an ex-sherry butt. That's fantastic. So considering this was used to raise funds for mental health, it's not just a beautiful whiskey, it's also like a symbol for mental health and providing those support services and essentially looking out for one another. And one of the things I love about whiskey is that it can, in moderation, help to bring people together. It can be an excuse for catching up with somebody who you might know is struggling. So if you have a friend that may not be doing too well, or they've been pulling back a little bit, use the excuse. Say, I've got a great dram. I bought a bottle, it's fantastic, I think you'd really, really like it. Use it as an excuse just to pop around, start the conversation, and just check how they're going. Because we all go through ups and downs. Mental health is important, and sometimes the simplest thing, just somebody popping by and checking in that you're okay, can be enough to either help you get back on track or help you to admit that something's wrong, that you might need help, you might need a hand. And at the end of the day, if whiskey is going to bring people together and help them with that, I think that's a really, really good thing for mental health. Now, I know for some, alcohol can be a bit of a double-edged sword when it comes to mental health. So use your judgment there, but ultimately, check in with your mates. Enjoy what's in your glass. It's not weak to speak about mental health, and slange. And thank you, Uncle Baldrick. That is delicious. That is really helping my mental health.